If you skip video game cutscenes, why even bother playing games? Well, gee, I don't know. Maybe because games are about the gameplay? Yes, I understand. RPGs exist. Story-based games exist. I like them too. I play plenty of them. But you also need to understand that there's people that only play games for gameplay. They couldn't care less about the story. They just want to have fun. Actually, a game like Deep Rock Galactic is perfect for that. It's pretty much all gameplay. And then also, people like me, if I'm going through a game for the third time, I don't necessarily watch all the cutscenes. And I only watch the ones I didn't see in the previous playthroughs, and I skip the rest. I don't need to waste my time. I already know what happens. I'm done. How about this analogy? Well, if you're not going to eat popcorn while you're watching the movie, why even watch movies? Well, gee, maybe because the movie isn't about eating the popcorn, huh? You think? Just like here. The game isn't about watching cutscenes. Now, if you're refusing to engage with the game's story, can you even say you've really played the game? I mean, yeah, I literally defeated all the bosses and got to the end, but because I skipped some cutscenes, I didn't play the game. Like, this is 100% tourist logic. I have a bone to pick with a lot of gamers. Some of these are my friends who I love dearly, but I simply cannot bear to watch them play games. Why would you do that? Why would you even? I mean, I understand. Like, I watch live streamers play games all the time, but when I'm hanging out with my friends in Meat Space, the last thing we do is just sit around and watch each other play games. Like who does that? If we're all playing the games together, or maybe like back in the day with fighting games where we passed the controller back and forth, everyone got a turn, something like that, maybe. Who goes over to a friend's house to watch them play lengthy RPGs? I guess these psychopaths. If I see one more loved one telling me they skipped every cutscene in a video game, I might cry. A few months ago, when I first got my Series X, my friends had come over for a movie night, and we were all sitting in my room arguing about what we're going to watch. The arguing period tends to take at least 2 hours, so I tossed my friends some controls and let them play Halo Infinite on co-op multiplayer while we yelled lovingly at each other. That movie looks like shit, one of us would say, and someone else would say, you've completely misjudged the vibe of the room, pick another genre. I usually let them tire themselves out before making a suggestion and spare myself the exhaustion of outrage. Or even better, you can plan that ahead of time. Now, this evening, though, I was outraged anyway. As my friends chatted, I found myself watching them skip the opening scenes of the game. I wanted to make this. Oh my God. Okay. Already, you want to talk about not being able to judge the vibe of the room? Just listen to this fucking idiot. They wanted to play Halo Infinite to kill time while they were arguing with their other friends about what movie to watch. This is exactly the type of environment you'd be skipping cutscenes in. Now, it would be one thing if they were playing the game alone in their rooms with nobody else and they're skipping everything. Okay, whatever. This idiot is complaining that while the game is just a distraction to keep them busy while they're arguing. Oh, I can't believe they're skipping cutscenes, guys. These are the people that call themselves gamers. These are the tourists, man. I want to make things clear. I have no large affection for the Halo series, and I didn't play Halo Infinite, so I have no opinion on the game's story. Yet I couldn't stop myself from explaining. You have to watch the cutscene. Okay, so you want me to watch and pay attention to this cutscene while I'm arguing with you idiots? If you want me to pay attention to the game, you guys shut the fuck up. Argue some other time. Yeah, burst out indignantly to some emphatic eye rolls. It's Halo, I was reminded. They don't want to watch the cutscenes. They want to shoot some grunts and spatter some blue blood. We're not here for the story. Yeah, Halo was definitely one of those games where the gameplay was the strong suit, yes. Well, 1 through 3 anyway. I think about this all the time. When a friend told me I had no idea what was going on in Diablo 4 because he'd skipped all the cutscenes to get straight to the action, I buried my face in my hands. I get it. Some people value gameplay over narrative. Yeah, if you want the narrative more, watch a fucking movie. All right, these are the people that are trying to turn games into movies. Yeah, but holy shit, how do you play games like this? It's like the gaming equivalent of watching an entire show while playing Candy Crush on your phone and then saying you don't get why people liked it. Now, this legitimately pisses me off. I've had friends like this, like that I know they don't pay attention to a show, and then they drop the show because like they had no idea what was going on. Like, oh, that show sucks. They didn't explain anything. I had no idea what was happening. Like, yeah, because you weren't fucking paying attention to the show, you dumb motherfucker. Yeah, but you don't have that problem in fucking video games. If you don't care about the story, all you want is to get to the next bit of action. Yeah, you can enjoy Diablo just fine, skipping every single cutscene, skipping every single conversation. Like, yeah. Just shut up, get this in my quest log, and let me go. It's not hard. So I already know I'm probably going to get emails and angry twats from rage baiting gamers, says the rage baiting game urinalist. But I'm trying to hit on something at the core of gaming culture. Well, you're a tourist. What the fuck do you know about gamer culture? Yeah, fucking tourist barged its way in here and is strutting around like it owns the joint. So many times I and other tourists have written about the value of video games as an artistic medium. Now, that I think was part of the downfall of gaming. Developers actually started taking this non-argument seriously. Like, oh, we gotta make sure gaming is considered art, guys. Meanwhile, real gamers are like, who fucking cares if pretentious twats consider us art or not? Literally, no one fucking cares. So I talked about how stories fit into current societal norms. Yeah, all the shit gamers don't want. This is tourist shit. And how subversive narratives matter, especially when they challenge politically conservative perceptions of what narrative should be and say. So you're low-key admitting you only care about gaming so you can use it for your subversive narratives, huh? That's why we don't like you. And when gamers get angry about the visibility of women's and queer characters in their game. Now, I agree with this. Don't get angry. Just don't financially support games and studios that do stuff you don't like. Hey, you guys are focusing more on woke virtue signaling than gameplay. Don't buy it, bigot. Then don't buy it. Bankrupt these fucking companies. Yeah, or even metaphors of systemic inequality. A common argument that is that games should be fun, and inserting wokeism into games makes them less fun, so you have to actually wrestle with a narrative that defies theirs. So, what a bunch of fucking projection. These guys, like, they got their entire careers are wrestling with a narrative that defies theirs, trying to co-opt and subvert gaming into their narrative. And they complain when the guys they're subverting fight back. Like, no, we won't let you subvert our hobby. Racist! But games aren't just for fun. The majority of games have some kind of narrative, and every narrative tries to say something. Yeah, we've seen the kind of shit you idiots try to say, and that's why I don't financially support your shit. If I see woke shit in a game, I skip that game. I don't even get mad. Just, all right, I'm out. I don't want to see this shit. There's so many good games out there that don't have woke shit in them. I don't have to put up with woke shit. In my experience, the more complex and interesting that narrative is, the more controversial its themes are, the more a game cements itself as a classic. Well, have you guys seen the kind of shit these guys have been pushing recently? None of the games that these guys, that these guys virtue signal about are classics. A lot, like what Last of Us Part 2, that destroyed what could have been a classic. If The Last of Us Part 2 never happened, Part 1 may have been considered a classic. They're rejecting those narratives completely by refusing to engage with cutscenes or story at all seems completely ridiculous because you're not engaging with the artistic medium. Only tourists care about artistic whatever in games. Real gamers just want to play a game and have fun. You fucking tourists are the only ones that care about this. Even back like 10-ish years ago, when we had that big argument, like when was it when Roger Ebert was still alive? And he wrote this article, like this rage bait article about how games can never be art. And all these tourists pretending to be gamers were reading about it. Like, why do you care what some crusty old out of touch boomer has to say? He's probably never played a game in his fucking life. That idiot had no idea what he was fucking talking about. And all these tourists were reading about it. Who fucking cares? And because they gave the words of these tourists so much power, look at where we are now. The only time whether or not games are art is even important is when it comes to censorship, because a lot of censorship is avoided because things are considered art. Like prawn is considered art, which is why it's allowed. Like, that's the only fucking situation I can think of where making the distinction of if a game is art or not is actually fucking important. Yeah, see, this is exactly right. Normalize not caring what outsiders think of your hobby. Exactly. And not every gamer is consciously doing this. Some people, like my friend, innocently skip cutscenes because they really do just want to get to the spectacle of it all. No, they're just Nazis. They're just alt-right Nazi bigots, that's all. Accept it. You're friends with Nazis. But it's a shitty way to play games, and I understand that. Gameplay is an important part, is as important to a game as the plot. No, it's gameplay is more important, you dumbass. It's a fucking game. Like, yes, I like my games with good plot as well, which is being censored to all hell nowadays. But the gameplay is the most important one. But they have to go hand in hand. Deep Rock Galactic is fine with just gameplay. If you're skipping cutscenes, you're not playing the game as it was meant to be played. Oh, okay. You want to use this argument, do you? Well, let me do you one better. If you're using an easy mode mod for a Souls game, you're not playing the game as it was meant to be played either. You see how this works? Oh, God. So they're allowed to bitch and demand games change to suit them. And yet when we do it, oh, but that's not how the creator meant it to be. Yeah, shut the fuck up, you tourist infiltrator. And if that's the case, are you really playing the game at all? Yeah, if you play Elden Ring with an easy mode mod, are you really playing the game at all? Or are you just extracting the parts of it that don't challenge you? I could literally use that exact, creating a facsimile of the intended experience that requires as little thinking as possible. I know, right? Like easy mode? Yeah? I think developers deserve better than misguided criticism of their games from players who don't engage with the medium as it's meant to be engaged with. You literally just described your profession. This is why gamers don't like game journalists. This is all you guys ever do. You guys offer misguided criticism. You don't engage with the games as they're meant to be engaged with. And then you bitch when gamers laugh at you for it. Man, this is the first article I think I've ever read that has negative self-awareness. Not just zero, but negative. I'm just waiting for gamers to come around to. No, what's going to happen sooner, hopefully, is you tourists are going to be ran out of the industry. Now, game journalism, thankfully, is declining. It may not be around much longer. And that seems to be the main infection point for a lot of these tourists. But okay. Yeah, just a look into the broken mind of a game journalist right here. This is how out of touch they are with real gamers. And they wonder why no one takes them seriously. Man, I miss the days when game journalism was good, like when it was by fans for fans. Now it's by activists for nobody.